I'm Holly Baglio, your hostess with the mostest, broadcasting to you live from Mobile Holly Television Studios at 7:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this beautiful Thursday, December 23rd morning in this beautiful state of Nazi, New Jersey. Oh, wait, no, the beautiful Garden Home state of Nazi, New Jersey. I want my HTV. Okay, so around these areas, I have been fighting the darkness. It's ongoing. Started at the beginning of December, and the battle's definitely on. And I have to say, I feel like my health is being attacked completely. So this spiritual attack I'm under, it's physically nailing me. The only thing I'm doing bad on is the nicotine. There's a couple other things, but like everything else I quit, I'm doing good at. I'm eating ice cream and cheesy poofs and more ice cream and more cheesy poofs, and so I'm still working on my diet, but I am eating. Wine is used for communion. Not running away from gang stalking and other problems. Good morning. Okay, I love you, Greta. Yeah, I gotta get breakfast. So, I think this is the 4th or 5th time I've been invited back to the Illuminati. Well, online. In person, I was invited twice, but I don't want to talk about those 2 times. I already told you guys anyway when they happened. But online, I was invited back today to the Illuminati, and they said they could make my dreams come true. They got some stiff competition because Yudhe Vavhe is already at it. Do you know why I keep taking pictures of light bulbs and lamps and flashlights? Like at the beginning of this video, the thumbnail has that blue solar paneled light. It's because I'm hoping that light bulbs start going off above all of our heads and we get smarter. Now, actually, I had a more condescending comment than that, but I glossed over it. I do that hoping that you guys get a clue, okay? That's why I'm always taking pictures of lamps, light bulbs, and everything else. No, I'm kidding. Ooh, you know what I could say is I'm always taking pictures of lights and lamps and stuff like that, because that's my lampstand Abba gave me. I love that. I'm with you, Greta. I need a few light bulbs on my end to go off. Anyway, I'm like in my jacket in the house and like there's no cause for it. I got ready to take my dog out and she's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm laying right there. So I can take off my jacket. So yes, I was invited back to the Illuminati today, and they were very nice to me. So I was extraordinarily nice back, and there's no reason why I wouldn't be cordial in response, right? So I said thank you very much, but I declined the invite. I found Yudhe Vavhe, and I'm going to stick with them. So my body is taking on new aches and pains, and I'm not liking it. I don't want to talk about those new aches and pains. I gotta take my cat to the vet because she's not eating properly, and I don't know what to do with her. So I think I got enough money, well, at least to get her in the door for a checkup, and then maybe for a blood test to check her liver and stuff. I don't know, but I gotta get my cat to the vet. But, I hate to say it. Sometimes the Illuminati can be nicer than Christians. Greta, they're hitting me in my health, because then that drives me to the cigarettes. It'll drive me to do other things to try to get rid of the pain. Like every morning I'm like, Abba, I just want to go to the hospital and ask him for an IV, give me Dilaudid, Zofran, and Valium, and get rid of all the gut pain in my stomach, my intestines. And then it just trickles out from there. And before you know it, my fibromyalgia is ripping on me, all because my intestines hurt. And it's just one big bad cycle. I'm fully disabled, so I don't tolerate healthy people telling me what I can and can't do. There was this one kid, I never finished the story for you guys, but there was this one kid. He was all screwed up by this one pastor who was using memory retrieval techniques on him. So I was like, come here. I am personally going to introduce you to Russ Dizdar. And that I did. That was the one person I'm really glad that I used my connection with Russ to get that kid in there. And he started doing amazingly well, but he battled this one situation. He's like, Holly, I got this horrendous pain in my eyes. And he went into detail about what was wrong with his eyes. And coming from, this guy remembered me from when we were little kids and we were in cages in the dumps and Joseph Mangley was torturing us. My altar recognized him. I don't know. He had given his testimony up on YouTube once. I think he may have taken it down because he got a lot of flack for it, and I felt bad, but I knew it was going to happen because I get flack for what I do online. It comes with the territory. But I said to him, he goes, Holly, I smoke marijuana. If I don't have marijuana, I can't see. I am in excruciating pain, and it's my eyeballs. And I was like, kid, if I could get you medicinal marijuana, I would give it to you, and I'm an ordained minister. I said, if you don't think these people that are helping you to deprogram will understand that that's your medication and what you're going through, then don't tell them. That's a plastic Christian. A plastic Christian will tell you that you're not born again because you use medicinal marijuana for prescriptions, because you don't want to use pharmacia. You don't want to use the pharmacy. You don't want to use their nuclear waste in a capsule or tablet. You don't want to go for their procedures. His word still cures and heals. And I'm the fully disabled person. I don't take kindly to people dictating to me what I can and can't do for my health. And then what I do for my health, they're going to base my salvation off of it. That's plastic. And it's everything I combat. I need to get those people saved just as much as anybody else, because they're listening to the fake Jesus. They really are, and you can tell they are. A lot of these Christians are afflicted with a religious spirit as well as a familiar spirit, because they just know God, and it's always God, and it's God, God, and they would know God, okay? Yeah, familiar spirit. We only learn when we're taken out of our comfort zones. We are to test all spirits as well as ourselves. We are not to test Heavenly Abba. How do you test spirits? You bind and cast down powers and principalities, demonic forces in Yeshua's name. You bind and cast down the fake Jesus. You ask God to bring you back in His truth. You get rid of your man's traditions. You forget everything you are taught. And you go to Heavenly Abba and you say, you give me your truth, please, Heavenly Abba. I want your truth. Not man's truth, not their truth. Your truth. And in this world right now, that fake Jesus' voice is ringing a lot louder than his true, genuine voice. I might be wrong about tribulation starting. I'm not quite sure. I'm still before him on this whole thing. But I will tell you this, Abba is signaling to me that the time is late. We're no longer the end times and last days. But anyway, there are tiers of me that find it difficult to say no, to go back. The only reason why it's been so easy is because Joseph Mangley's voice rings loud in my head. Don't go back or they will kill you. But also Heavenly Abba's voice rings loud and he says, Holly, don't go back to the old creation. Stay the new creature. So yeah, I'm not going to deny my design, creation, or whatever words we put on it to spin it to make ourselves feel better. I'm not going to deny how I was built, why I was built, and by whom I was built. But I'm not going to do any of those super soldier things anymore. I'm going to be down on my knees worshiping Yud-Heh-Vav-Heh from the Holy Bible and living my life like that. I'm still going to be Holly. There's people from my past, they look at me and they're like, come on, Hall, is this an act? And they'll get talking to me and stuff. And they'll be like, see, all right, Holly's in there. Holly's in there. But then they stop and they recognize, wow, you're actually growing up too. And that's not even the right word to put on it, growing up. But they're like, I get what you're doing, Holly. I get that you want all the things my friends that I grew up with complained about, I'm fixing now. And it's like I tell them you should be happy that I'm finally fixing them. And but then, they'll light up a cigarette and I'll be like, give me that. And they'll be like, yeah, that's Holly. Oh my gosh, Portugal? Oh wow, I'm really humbled. Oh wow, Heavenly Abba, I've got Portugal in my chat room. Oh, all my love and prayers and blessings to Portugal. Oh, thanks for joining me, General Purpose. Blessings. Big love right back at you. Hugs and kisses, blessings and all. I mean, I'm still me. Nazareth, Portugal, no less. Wow. Wow. That's awesome, General Purpose. I'm humbled. Thank you so much. Well, big love from America right back to Nazareth, Portugal. Nazareth, Portugal. Yeshua blessings. Not last night, the night before, throughout the night, well, last night is a story in itself, but 2 nights ago, there was a demonic entity that was sitting on my chair that I have up against the door because of the gang stalkers and the squatters and the bad people and the ones that doxed me. And anyway, so I'm always tripping over chairs because anyway, and I need a couple more. But I'm serious. So the one chair by my door, I'll show you. I was in attack. Well, this chair right here, right? It's a big chair. I usually put it up against the door, right? And there's where my head faces. That's my room. So I was sleeping here like 2 nights ago and with the chair up against the door, and I saw this demonic presence. There's a movie where they had like a life form from Mars on a spaceship. I forget the movie's name. I'm not sure if it's called Hydra or Life, but this thing was really weird at the beginning of the movie. It was small, about the size of your hand. And then it started eating people and it grew. And it kind of looked like a weird looking type of octopus. Well, this demonic attack, the entity looked like it was in another dimension but overlapping mind. Sounds like a bit like Alec Baldwin. That guy, man, he should have been in trouble a lot, way before he got in trouble. He was a ticking time bomb. He was already going off. He was, whoa, geez, I'm surprised it took this long for that recent situation to happen with Alec, to be honest with you. I mean, his temper. Anyway, so getting back to the demonic attack, this demonic entity all night long was talking to me. Don't worry, general purpose, it's good. But he was talking to me all night long, and I'm trying to remember what it was he was telling me. Probably his plans of how he's going to succeed in attacking other people. Probably his plans how all he has to do is get you to change the slightest opinion or change your mind in the slightest way. And over time, even over a day or a week, it can have drastic effects and really pull you away from your creator. And that's what we're all striving to have, is a direct connection and a direct relationship with our creator, who came to earth and died for us, ascended to heaven so we could too. But this entity all night long, man, and all I could do, because I was partially half asleep, I kept binding it. I'm like, you can't touch me, you can't touch me, you can't even be in here right now. But this thing was attacking me, trying to get me to wear thin, trying to get me to question God, trying to get me to question myself, and pretty much just turn back and go back to the darkness from where I came, from where I fought to get out in the first place. So I know it sounds weird, but I'm just going to say it in layman's terms. It seems lately, and I'm going to keep this video under 30 minutes. I'm going to try to do shorter videos. It's better. The world is so corrupt. And right now, a big lesson I have learned recently is we have to ask Heavenly Abba first and foremost if we can do something. Abba, can I get this person saved to Yeshua? Abba, can I bring Yeshua's gospel into this household? Abba, can I go to my park and claim the land of the park for you? You have to ask him first. He might say no, and most of the time he does say no. And lately, he has said to me, no, more often than not, because the land itself has been given over to Moloch's rule. There's 72 regional demons worldwide. They have claim over property, the buildings on that property, and the people on that property. And depending on what those people allow in their house, also gives, for instance, these regional demons worldwide claim and right to you, your house, your kids, your life. You can't just barge into someone's chat room, for instance, and start rebuking people and saying, oh, you're not born again, and I rebuke you, and I bind you. And first of all, if you don't know the difference between an altar or a demon, you need to step out of my chat room. You can't bind and cast down altars. They're your personality. Don't be so stupid, arrogant, and naive.
Oh, well, I know, Holly, I can just go in and do whatever I want and say whatever I want. And the Holy Spirit will just tell me what I want to know when I want it. And then I'm going to go sha, 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 ba, 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 and start speaking tongues. Guys, if you hear somebody start speaking tongues and they start out like this, the sha, 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 ba, 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 and blah, 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 turn them off. Go before Abba, say whatever I was exposed to, get it out of my eyes, ears, and soul in Yeshua's name. Guys, it's gibberish. Tongues is an actual language. If you got somebody going, sha, 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 da, 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 ka, ba, 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 shak, shak, shaka, 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 shaka. It's devil divination. It's twilight language. I know that this is going to upset a lot of plastic Christians, but it's the truth. Don't take offense to it. You have to realize that the fake Jesus has tried to trick me too. I'm giving you a heads up. I'm not against you. I'm with you. I'm sharing what he's telling me because some of you can't see it, and some of you have different spiritual gifts than me, and you can't see it, but I can see it, so I can tell you what I'm saying. You guys have other spiritual gifts that I don't have, so you can come to me and say, hey, Hal, I got this gift. I'm going to share it with you. Because I don't have it. Together, we complement each other. Now, the days and the world are dark and corrupt. At this point, for lack of better words, it almost feels like when I walk out my front door, I have to go, okay, Abba, I am in control and have authority over my place, my immediate space in my car, 6 feet around me, actually make that 10 feet around me in all directions. Get back. Make it 7 feet, okay? I don't want your cooties. Make it 7 feet because it seems like 7 is Yudhe Vavhe's lucky number, so stay back 7 feet. And when I walk out, say to the store, I say, Abba, go before me, during me, and after me. Drive my car. He says, don't smoke a cigarette because if you start sinning, I can't be with you. So I say, okay, I'm not going to have a sin, an addiction with me. I put it away. I'm quitting it. I bring you with me, Abba. You can't bring Abba into a house that's filled with cocaine. And I don't care if you're using it medicinally. Go to the doctor and go get a prescription for narcotic pain relievers and stop being an idiot. Abba can defend you if you do it the right way, but if you're going to be an idiot and go to the black market yourself and just go get heroin and cocaine to deal with your health problems because you can't afford pills, Abba can't defend you that way. So don't do it. Do it the right way. When I go out to the store, I say, Abba, keep me invisible to the enemy, and I can see people's eyes shift. I can see who's dizzy in the eyes, whose eyes turn black and flip. I can see people eyeballing my cross, always. He keeps me invisible. And then I notice, keep me invisible, take your sword and stab it in the ground between me and the enemy, Heavenly Abba. Don't let them cross that sword. I'm like already taking like a stance to knock somebody out in martial arts. Excuse me. But yeah, there's that sword. Don't you come across Abba's sword. I'm on this side. My name is Bags. My bags are on this side. My backyard is on this side. And trust me, I'm only concerned about the bags I have in my backyard. You got yours. Deal with them. Stop thinking because... Anyway. So Abba will let me go to the store, pick out my food, get out of the store, drive home unscathed. Now, in the spirit, if you don't have your full armor on and you're going out to that store to food shop, these people walking around the store, they will use their spiritual gifts in different ways. Okay? And whatever spirit guides they're listening to, those spirit guides will say, there's a person, take your knife and stab that person, shred that person's soul. Or they'll think a thought, a bad thought. You know, it says guard your thoughts. Okay, guys, we always have to be invisible to the enemy and guard our thoughts. Take claim and ownership to what it is ours, but also recognize what is 5G, what is coming from the enemy, and rebuke that. And stay on top of it. because it swarms in. It's like my dog asking for a treat. She never stops. I'll say no. 30 seconds later, she's back at me. I say no. 1 minute later, she's back at me. I say no. 30 seconds later. Okay, that's how it is with spiritual attacks current day. I used to think only new believers were attacked really hard. Me, I got 7 years in. I am getting pummeled, man. I think I'm getting pummeled more now than I did when I first woke up, because now I know my power, authority, and spiritual gifts in Him, and they want to stop that. Do you know how powerful He has made me as an individual with the spiritual gifts He has blessed me with? Straight up, I'm not. That's not egotistical. That's just saying it for what it is. I'm still building up my confidence and self-esteem from 0. On a scale of 1 to 100, I'm at number 1 still with esteem and confidence. So I don't want to hear it from anybody. Oh, did you hear what Holly said? Yeah, what she says about herself. She's got a big head, and you know it's not going to come true because you can't say that about yourself. Get the hell out of here. I know what God gave me and what He blessed me with, and I'm going to take my candle, I'm going to take my lamp stand, and I'm going to put it out front of my house and shine it bright. He's called me to be a prophet. He's called me into the field deliverance, field ministry. He's called me to have spiritual gifts. Well, okay, I got them. Now let's use them, guys. Let's go find some kidnapped kids, trafficked adults. Let's go find them and bring them home. And we don't know until we try. I want the opportunity to try. So anyway, what about this? Another time that you go out. Say you're going to go to a friend's house, and maybe they're a new believer, or maybe they're not a believer. Maybe they are a believer, but they're listening to the fake Jesus. Doesn't matter. Say you're going out to a friend's house. You get in the car, you get prayed up, like we've been talking about. You get to your friend's house. For me, I can see demons and angels. I can see them like I'm looking at this computer screen right now. Yes, I'm always pacing. I'm always moving. If I'm sitting down, then I'm trying to sleep. And plus, I used to have these spiritual gifts that required me to use my hands. And I noticed that when I was fighting demons over the past 2 weeks, I would grab onto it with my hand and literally walk it out of my house, down across the property, and throw it into the dumpster. I was moving my hands. I was stomping my feet. Even though it's in this physical realm, it still translates back up. Okay, things happen in the spirit world first and then they manifest. But there is this thing where you can have your physical actions and behavior down here on earth affect the spirit world and go right back up. It's just like your prayers. Some of us don't speak our prayers too well, but we can envision them. Or when we're mad, we'll stamp our feet and clap our hands. Maybe that's better than yelling, but it still matters. There's a ministry out there that I want you guys to look at, but I'm not going to present the ministry now. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Actually, I'll present it now. It's Jesus Wants You by Nikki. Amazing woman. It's not Nikki Pratt. It's Nikki Hall. Beautiful. I love her. I wish I met her when I was down in Tennessee. I had a chance. She was only 2 hours away from me, but I was such a mess at that time. But boy, I wanted to meet Nikki. She's had such a positive impact and influence in my life. I drew her a picture. I went to her when God gave me the dream of the 2 resurrections. First one happening at the 7th trumpet, and second resurrection happening at the end of his 1,000 years reign. I drew it and I took the dream to Nikki, and she helped me out with it. And then we were both able to recognize man's traditions and false doctrine. And that's the rapture, guys. Deal with it. No one's getting out of here alive. And that's what Abba told me. I'm going to listen to him. I know you guys want to try to change my mind. It's not going to happen, because don't you understand? He shows me things. I'm listening to him now, not you. He told me the rapture's fake, false, and a lie, sold from the Illuminatis to the Christians. then I'm listening to him and I'm listening to him and I'm listening to him. Stop fighting me on it. Go ask him to show you about your man's traditions, about your Christmas, and about your rapture. And when you come back with 2 resurrections, you'll be like, you're going to realize the lie, and it's going to hurt because it has to do with life and death. The Illuminati got you Christians right where they want you. They really do. But anyway, when you go out, let me get back on track. When you go out to a friend's house, you're driving down the highway, Abba's driving with you. You get to your friend's house, say you walk into your friend's house. Before you walk in, you say, Abba, do I have permission to bring Jesus here? Abba says, no. This is Moloch's territory. They decided it, so it's been given over to Moloch. Okay, Abba, well, I'm not dropping my lampstand. I'm still going to talk about Yeshua, my golden bow. Holly, you be yourself all you want, and don't you cower, honey. But the only way you can bring Jesus into this house is if your friend asks you, and if your friend, because he has a certain habit of saying something, but if your friend says that one little thing he normally says, which suggests that he's open to me, my friend will go, yeah, I believe in Jesus. He'll shrug it off and move on. But it's this certain little cue my friend gets. And I'm like, aha, right? Abba says, well, if your friend gets that certain little cue, you can bring Jesus in. All right, cool. So, of course, there was one time I was at somebody's house and they looked at me and I said, listen, I know it sounds weird. I'm not speaking to you. And it's probably better I'm not speaking in tongues. Right now, my tongues is going to be English to make it easier for everybody around me. That way I can still speak in tongues, so to speak. But I started speaking at the darkness around him, and I said, oh, I know you guys are here and you're watching me. I can see you. I see you right on top of him, standing right next to him. You can't touch me. You can't come in my space. And I can walk anywhere I want in this house, anywhere I want, in the sidewalks, the streets, the stores. I can go anywhere I want. I know you cannot touch me. No, I won't bring Jesus to where I'm not supposed to. But while I'm going about my business, you darkness cannot touch me. Guys, I notice that the days are so corrupt and so dark that it's almost like when we go out, we have to bargain with the darkness just to get our laundry done, just to go visit a friend, or just to go food shopping. Those people out there can wreck our spirits. And even if you don't have the spiritual gift, and even if you don't believe, it doesn't matter. They're still going to do it to you. And they will shred your soul. Incantations, just bad talk, gibberish, evil eyes, bad hand gestures. Every little thing counts. Every little thing counts right now, guys. Even if you can't see the spirit world, take me with you. I'll pray for you. I'll walk around with you. I can see those things. I remember sitting at a conference and I started to see astral projectors. I started to see the black splotches, the black blobs, the black morphs fly around this conference. So there I am in the audience. I picked up my cell phone. I texted the SIIU team, my one person there who I absolutely love and adore and trust. When things get real tough, I'll go to that one certain person, but things got to be real tough. I was like, SIIU team, they're here. Their spies are out. What just happened? Do you see that? I'm going to start praying right now to get the astral travelers out. I send the text. I no sooner get done sending the text, Russ Disdar's up on stage. Yes, they send astral travelers out to spy on the conference. They send out their spies, and at conferences we can see them flying around. And I was actually in the audience. I raised my hand and he saw me and then I put it up. I was like, at the end of the conference, the SII team was like, Holly, I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. I was like, no, I didn't really want you to get back to me. I wanted you to know I saw something and will you join me in prayer and let's get it out of the conference. Just like Expelling the Darkness conference, I kid you not, I was at the front door, Russ Distar walked in, and all of a sudden the wool was pulled over my eyes and everything got dark. Now I saw a bunch of people around Russ as he walked in from the parking lot to the conference, but I didn't see all those people come in with him. And that was the last conference he did. There was stuff in the darkness that was on him, following him. I can see that stuff. Anyway, so now it feels like I'm almost having to bargain with the darkness to accomplish my tasks. And it's not that I'm bargaining, going, oh, you're such a cute little demon, you don't want to hurt me, because I'm a plastic Christian believing in the false Jesus. No, I'm still rough and mean with them, and I sound like a sailor when I'm combating them, and it's always going to be like that, and that's the way it is. I'd like to see you not scream shit in the F-bomb when you are face to face with a demon and it's jumping on your head. Oh no, I'm just going to sit there and wallow in the joy of and glory, the joy of God, Holly. I've got the joy of God on me. All right, yeah, are you sure that you're following Jesus? Because if you are, you're supposed to be hated, and all I do is see you wallowing around in joy, having a merry old life. That's not being a true Christian. You're not engaged anywhere. You're only plopping your ass in his joy and taking the best parts of him and applying yourself to that and ignoring the rest. Running to and fro, making some human tell you, oh, do I have spiritual gifts? Do I have spiritual gifts? Hey, Holly, some famous ministry said I have spiritual gifts. Wow. We're all spiritually gifted when we're in him. Sadly, there's a lot of people that misuse that spiritual gift because they're listening to Moloch's voice, the fake Jesus, the false divine light, and they don't want to admit it because they got pride and arrogance and they think they know it all. They put God in a box, so they've got everything figured out. And since you don't fit in their stereotype, then you're a Satanist, says the nowadays Christians. So, guys, when you go out your front door, get your full armor on, be invisible to the enemy, be prayed up. Talk to Abba through the whole situation. If you feel uneasy, say, Abba, I feel uneasy. Reveal to me what it is. Is it just me feeling anxious, or is it the actual atmosphere of the store? Abba, I'm at my friend's house. Are there demons popping out at me, trying to upset my emotions, trying to attack my physical health? Heavenly Abba, reveal it to me. Heavenly Abba, just talk to him the way you talk to me. You don't have to be fancy. Like Bridge prays beautifully and very detailed. Sometimes I can be very detailed. Most of the times I'm not. And I just say, Abba, Holy Spirit, help me. Help me. I'm probably going to fall short. Keep me reminded of retaliation attacks because they're like 7 times worse than the original attack. Ask him to help you pray. But I got to tell you, you have to ask Heavenly Abba permission first before you go storming into a house, a chat room, or anywhere else. You need to ask him first. 1, can I do it? Is it in your will? Or 2, look, Holly's already there with 3 other people, 3 other modern day disciples. Maybe it's already being handled and I don't have to hop in where I'm not needed and I don't know what's going on anyway. but always ask Heavenly Abba first. But honestly, guys, I have to tell you, don't go charging into a park and say, I'm taking this property and stake and claim, and then driving a wood stake in it. If you're driving a wood stake in a property, you're doing witchcraft. Point blank. What Jesus are you listening to? I don't know what that is with people where they take a stake or they take a flag or they take a rock or they take some object. They go into a park, they try to sanctify the ground, make it holy, claim it for Jesus, and then they leave some object there. That is witchcraft. Burning sage, it's witchcraft. Abba tells you this in the Bible. See, that's the other thing. When I go to reiterate what Abba calls my attention to get right with him, and then I tell you guys my walk with him, you guys are like, oh yeah, it's Holly's way. It's what Holly says it is, right? It's how you say it, right, Holly? Because you're always right. Why don't you pick up the Bible and read it? Because then you're going to be like, oh, shnikes. That's where Holly got it. She got it from God, and I'm giving her grief. And I just made her life harder on her. Read it for what it says. There is no great revival, guys. There's a great apostasy and a great falling away. If Christians are telling you there's a great revival, they are listening to the fake Jesus. There's your red flag. Heads up. The Bible says there's a great falling away. And the great falling away includes these famous online ministries as well as face-to-face ministries that are all sitting there talking about a rapture. They're being sent the strong delusion, guys, because they don't love him. They don't love the truth. They want their man's traditions of Christmas and Easter egg coloring. They want their fake Jesus, the easy way out. Take me in a rapture so I don't have to carry your gospel, God. I don't care that the apostles had to be crucified because they took up their cross. No, give me the easy way out. Guys, it's a fake Jesus. You have a choice. Get rid of it. Jezebel, she tricks you into sexual morality and eating really bad foods. She also tricks you into listening to the false Jesus. Fake doctrine. You got your symbols, your Remphain, Star of David, Messianic Seal of the Jerusalem Church. It's all Remphain. The Star of David was given to the country of Israel by the Illuminati. It has nothing to do with Jesus. Christmas, nothing to do with Jesus. Nothing. I think this may have been when the three wise men with all their armies and all their people, so that's what, like 25,000 people show up. Jesus was 2-3 years old at that point. He was born in September. The wise men showed up, what, 2 years later? Do you really love God if you're tampering with 79 tarot cards? Do you really love God if you're tampering with rune stones? Do you really love God if you don't follow his commandments and you bear false witness? You lie, you steal, you have addictions? You want to come and trample on Holly Baglio, right? Yeah, you plastic Christians that are afflicted with a religious and familiar spirit, you're enough to push somebody back to the Illuminati. Just so you know. And then how are you going to explain on Judgment Day how it is that you turned people off to Yeshua HaMashiach? I don't understand how people can't love him, but I can definitely see how people misrepresent him and how they turn others off to him. But guys, I'm going to have to probably do another video about this spiritual warfare. We can only take claim and authority over our immediate possessions, home, car, and the land we walk on when we're walking on it. After that, this world is under Satan's rule. He's up in the Arctic right now, ruling. He's not locked up in heaven. There's another false doctrine. Also, the key of David, if anybody tells you that there was a first wife named Lilith that Adam had sex with and out came Cain, false doctrine. If somebody says to you, oh, yeah, I hold the key of David, and the key of David actually means this, it means that, okay, Eve had sex with Satan, out came Cain, and then Eve had sex with Adam, and out came Abel. False doctrine. Cain is not the Antichrist. You guys realize that you're saying that the first human born was Satan when you talk like that, right? Okay, so for everybody else out there, if you hear people talking about the key of David and then they come out with that other stuff, false doctrine. Another way to tell it's the fake Jesus. People sit there and they're reading the Bible, right? And they go, well, the elect are going to be deceived. No, it clearly states, if it were possible, even the elect would be deceived. But you know what? It's not possible to elect the deceived because Heavenly Abba is working in him and he never makes a mistake. Heavenly Abba gets 100% of the prophecies right, not 50 to 80% like this Guy Daly and all these other fake prophets y'all run to. Get your viewers and money in your pocket and social status, and meanwhile, where's the other 20% that matters? That's right, you were listening to the fake Jesus. You ain't gonna get it. All right. I answered his calling. And I really hope more people really listen to the real, true, genuine voice of Yeshua. And right now, it's time to really shit or get off the pot. Every time I walk out that door, I have to ask permission. Because every house, okay, you remember when you drive through neighborhoods? You drive through a neighborhood and all the houses would look sparkly and happy and lit up. But then you would drive past a house in the neighborhood and it had the black cloud over it and it was dismal. So you stayed away from it. Okay, well, now at the end of 2021, as we go into 2022, the roaring 20s again, the roaring 2s, just days away, can't wait. Woo! Hostess with the mostest. I do celebrate New Year's. Both Hebrew and Gregorian calendars. Come on, it's a joke. With some sincerity in it. What was I saying? Going outside. I have to ask permission. Okay. Now we go driving through a neighborhood, right? When we go driving through a neighborhood, now it's every house in the neighborhood has a black cloud, and you're lucky to find one, possibly two houses in the neighborhood where they're actually lit up and there's no black cloud over them. That's the day and age we live in. The days of Noah, oh, absolutely. We are so far, like, into the days of Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic. So the best I can say is when you guys go out, ask Heavenly Abba, when I enter into this house, when I enter into this building, do I have permission to talk about Yeshua, to bring Yeshua here? Do I have permission, Heavenly Abba? I'm going to walk into this building. There's a portal open. I'm going to walk into this building to close the portal, to give the residents of this building peace and quiet from the demonic world. Do I have your permission, Heavenly Abba, to close down the portal? Heavenly Abba, do I have your permission to go into Holly's house and bless it? Heavenly Abba, do I have your permission to go in Jeff's house and bless it? You guys might be surprised when he comes back and says, no. And when he tells you no, you listen. You don't make excuses and weasel out of it. Or better yet, go to your friends, have your friends give you a yes and a feel-good service, and then you still charge out the door and go do something that's not in Abba's will. But you think it's okay because you just got 5 buddies to give you a feel-good service to stroke your ego. Meanwhile, not one of them would go with you. Or worse yet, you all go with each other, and before you know it, you're all astral projecting. Thank you, Heavenly Abba. All praise, love, glory, and worship to you, Heavenly Abba, for Yeshua HaMashiach. Heavenly Abba, thank you for the spiritual gifts you give me, because I can solely rely on you. And at the rate that people are going, oh my goodness. And you know, Abba, what I can't stand is when they all get their feathers in a ruff, and I tell them that I don't listen to them, I listen to you. I take my orders from you, and I take my commandments from you, and then they're like, oh, but Holly, you've got to talk to your siblings in Christ. No, actually, I don't. I don't. He separated me. Remember Enoch? Yeah. Now I know why Enoch was by himself. And Abba's called me to be alone, like Enoch, because the world's so corrupt and fallen. People don't even know his clear voice anymore. It's insulting, these nowadays Christians. It really is. Abba's been telling me, Holly, they just don't love me. If they loved me, what's with the man's traditions? What's with the breaking of the covenants, Holly? They don't love me. You spend a month and a half not being called, a month and a half in prayer and fasting for me, Holly, just simply to draw closer. They don't do that. They don't do that, Holly. So, guys, I'm listening to him. I don't care what you say, and you can say it until you're blue in the face. I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to only listen to him. Enoch walked alone. He's called me to walk alone. And why? Because I can clearly hear his voice, but the rest of you try to keep knocking me off my narrow path with them. Why? To feel better about your own shortcomings and your own faith. You want me to agree with you so you can stay comfortable in your man's traditions. You want me to agree with you so you can be comfortable in your false doctrine of a rapture, and so you can keep misinterpreting a book that's already been interpreted. So you can keep cherry picking. Now, I wanted to keep this video to 30 minutes and it didn't happen. I'm going to forward this video on. I think it's a damn good video. Yes, I'll be back. I don't know when. Thank God the blood stopped coming out of when I went to the bathroom. Thank God I stopped vomiting. And thank God I'm in the upright position without pains in my intestines. The spiritual on my tack is over now. Now I can get back to the other 22 hours a day, or 20 hours a day at this point, of worshiping him, loving him, and making sure I listen to him and not human beings, fallen human beings to boot. No, I didn't say he helped me. I never said that, Fire Carry. I did say I had Stockholm Syndrome over him, and I did say Joe, the mechanic Mangley, told me that if I go back, they will kill me. I wouldn't say he helped me, but I would say I had Stockholm Syndrome over him. See you guys.